Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go straight to Twitter page of ODM Communications Director, Mr. Philip Etale. In his Twitter, he's saying, unknown people in plainclothes suspected to be police officers from the DCI have abducted Raila Odinga's bodyguard Maurice Ogeta while driving to work, bundled him in the car boot and driven away with him to unknown destination. His whereabouts remain unknown. Philip Etale is co-director of communications at ODM, and I honestly believe that he bears responsibility for that information, a man who was actually also a former journalist before he ventured into political communications. So critically, this information has come at a time when there have been kamata. Last night, Babu Owino was arrested at JKIA in the company of other Azimio MPs. Immediately, he jetted back in Nairobi after a retreat, or rather after a committee meeting with Kura in Mombasa. Gaucho was also arrested yesterday, allegedly after taking that goat blood oath. Then today, just some few minutes ago, this is around 9 a.m., Philip Etale is also sharing this disturbing information. So it's coming at a time when Raila Odinga's security had been withdrawn, and being that Maurice Ogeta is one of his security details, then it's very clear that he's one who is affected in this. Before I make more political interpretation about this, or rather more analysis about this move, I want to say thank you for those who've been supporting my podcast, and a very big shout out to Morris, Patrick Mutuse, Patrick Mose, who advised me on this, and we want to do a challenge. The challenge is on 100 subscribers per day. We started yesterday, that was on 18th, and by today we've actually got 150 more subscribers, and I want to say a very big thank you. So we want to get 100 subscribers per day with a target that after 100 days we shall have 10,000. So I think after 100 days we should be at around 62,000 subscribers. So that's what we are saying. Subscribe. We have many viewers. Just confirm whether you've subscribed to our channel or not, and click your subscription, put in their subscription there. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to veer off from this and look at it holistically. There are some things, and in a crisis like where we are, there are different tools that are in use. And that is the tool of propaganda. The tool of propaganda can be used both by the opposition side and the government side. And if you ask me, it has been employed by both sides of the political divide. Today, I saw photos being shared that there are usual activities, normal activities going on in town. Well, the truth is people have remained home. Shops in town has been closed. The schools have also been shut. Public schools in Kisumu, Mombasa, and Nairobi have also been shut. And things are in some sort of a standstill. But propaganda is going on. So I don't want to dismiss the fact that maybe a Ogeta issue can be a propaganda. But I am saying this because I'm putting a lot of emphasis on curbing propaganda, which is a tool now, especially the fact that this country is in a crisis. Because try to imagine someone who supports Raila, if the same person knows that Raila's security details have been withdrawn, then the next morning you're also telling him that the personal bodyguard has been arrested. So where does that, which kind of interpretation that does a layman get? He actually gets that Raila's life is in danger. If he's already been arresting, if a bodyguard has already been arrested, then who is remaining? Who is protecting him? Is he safe? Where is he at large? The questions of where is Raila is a big question. Now, he's simply saying, those who are talking about this information, is actually saying that Raila was that the bodyguard was arrested going to work. Where, if Raila was arrested? Most probably, security details are normally withdrawn. But you know what happens is a letter is written, and after that letter is written, they're asked to report back to the station. Maybe that they redeployed or something, but sometimes they refuse. They can be asked to get back, but sometimes they often refuse to take those orders. So that's also another probability that maybe people are called and were asked to, maybe the police, the security details were asked to report back to the station and did not. And maybe the arrest was because they were told to leave, in order to stop protecting Raila, but they decided to remain because your security details is normally they normally have a personal responsibility with the leaders. I want to help Kithure Kindiki and William Ruto that both sides of the political divide, William Ruto, Raila Odinga camp, all of them are employing propaganda in this crisis. And it is because of these three loopholes. I wish someone would get this. There are three areas that we must look at. The first one, Kindiki should establish communication command center in respect, especially dealing with what the police are doing in this protest. Don't put people in the dark. I know very well, I have been reading Nation and I think the newspapers today. There are very flashy headlines on how police is planning to deal with protesters. You know, I looked at that headline. I think I saw it in Nation, and I was like, if a civilian consumes that such a headline, sees that such a headline, it's even insightful in its nature. Now, the problem here is anything government is doing should not be done in the dark. If it is indeed true, of course we saw videos of Babu Owino was arrested. Yes, confirm we arrested Babu Owino in connection to this and this, and we are processing him, is going to be taken in court in such date, this and this, and this is why we're investigating him. I know that in law there is privacy. It's not a must to say, but because it is a matter of public interest, Raila Odinga's bodyguard is a person of interest in this country. Babu Owino is a person of interest. The Dame Olekina has also been saying that there are some police officers that are trailing him. These are people that they attract some following in the country. I saw Caleb Amisi also saying some plainclothes officers also visited his home in Kitale. Wanted to find him, went to his place in Kitale. I do believe that the best thing that Kindiki can do now is to make everything that police is doing very clear. You must not say we want to arrest so and so. But if you arrest someone, make it clear. Announce, we have arrested this and this. I've always been seeing DCI doing this. When they arrest these fellows, you are given bango, unambiwa. It must not be the shaming way. But when you disseminate that information, instead of it coming from other quarters, because when it comes from other quarters, it turns a gossip, it can be regarded as propaganda, and it creates tension, especially the fact that government is quiet. If Raila Odinga's bodyguard is arrested, honestly, Raila Odinga is a high-profile leader in this country. You cannot keep quiet with such a sensitive information because the public have an interest. People are asking, so where has he been taken? What exactly is going on? Just the same way, there's some group of Kikuyus that wanted to storm Mama Ngina's residence. They made it clear. So the country knows. I don't know what so far has happened, whether that is also going on or it just remained there. So establish communication command center. I want to believe that is a ministry that is head communication. There is a former journalist, Francis Gashuri. And I think Gashuri can support this, my understanding about it. The second thing is I want to just advise the security officers, they should boost media penetration during these protests. I know all over, when you speak to journalists, there is a bit of hostility between the protesters and the police. And there is that which I think we need to understand. In a situation of encounter between police and protester, the journalists are supposed to be on the side of the police. Actually, that's what, because the police are actually supposed to give them protection too. But in some instances, there is a coincidence where the journalist is on the other side. Not even by decision, by choice, but by default. Maybe people are running and your vehicle remained behind, or you are covering something. This has always happened, especially if you are, and you know, the photographers, they're always looking for the best shot in every situation. So when you bolster media penetration, some of these things, some of these arrests, if they are captured live on TV, you know, I know people may not want, because we don't want to make things very clear. But if you capture them live, people see, people know, its citizen has reported, instead of some leader or some blogger reporting about it. Even yesterday I was receiving some really calls that there are people that, Raila Odinga is being trailed here. Yes, but why don't that information come out? If someone is trailing Raila, why don't it just come out? Because if it comes in these corridors, it's propaganda, and it creates unnecessary fear, unnecessary grip in public. Lastly, review the operations of civilian policing. Guys, civilian policing is, my layman's understanding is to ambush. So that people don't know who is, they can always roam around protesters. But I think if in Nairobi CBD, the protesters already know. They know if that is not a police, then that could be a civilian. The operation of the civilian makes the whole operation looks dark. It looks like dark forces. And that's why you can listen to the likes of Kalonzo Musyoka and Martha Karua. When they were giving their press briefing, they were speaking about some unit, some special unit that is not yet clear. The discussion about a special unit should not even cross our mind at this point, because we were once in a situation where the president said, here, there are people that died, and the SS unit was even disbanded because it actually executed extrajudicial terminations, and those are things that were there. I still really believe that we need to bridge the propaganda gap. Just review the operations of civilian policing, because the civilian policing is causing a lot of tension. By the way, people fear. The reason why someone cannot even go to town is because hata ukimwambia the things are operating, he doesn't know who is next. He doesn't know whether this is a protester or this is a civilian police. And with that fear, we are really not going to work in. I think in some instances, I still don't understand why in town you need a police to be in civilian. What's the difference? If you have civilian and the one with uniform, so what is the difference? I simply don't get it. What is the difference? People still know. Even the civilian, akishashika mtu haile halase. Si watu wamemuona. If he goes Moi Avenue or Tomboya, see, people already know that person. Already they are being seen on cameras. So, there is no way they are going to hide. Unless we are doing some secret cameras. Probably. But I think civilian policing is not a very good idea. And it's also difficult to know. In case something has happened, how do you draw the line that this has been done by a protester and this has been done by the police? How do you draw the line when someone is killed? Yeah, because a civilian, in civilian policing, someone can be shot, and how do you draw the line? The police will then come out and say that was a civilian who shot him. But how do you separate between a civilian police and just another civilian who is not a protester? There are three people. There is a protester, there is just another Kenyan going on with his own activities, and there is another police in civilian clothes, and then there is the police. So Protester and the police, these ones will know themselves because suspicion. But the civilian and just a Kenyan going on with his usual activities, how do you separate the two? I think we need to get it on this one, because if we can't handle propaganda, propaganda is going to consume the whole situation, and it's what is making it a little bit more difficult even to handle the crisis. Thank you.